Well, hey there everyone. Apologies if my voice is a little bit slurred. I bit my tongue really hard yesterday, so it's in a lot of pain. So I might talk a little bit slurred. So this week I'm going to be making another dress. What I really wanted to do for this fall, even though it's like butts hot outside, I just want to revamp my fall like outfits, and I want the fall aesthetic so bad. So what I ended up doing is I saw these dresses on Pinterest, and it's like a deep V pinafore. I figured out what a pinafore actually is. And they were very cute and very fall, and I really wanted to make one. So I went to Goodwill and I picked up these plaid sheets that I found, just these like green and tan plaid sheets that I thought would be really cute for this pinafore. So I picked those up at Goodwill. Of course, they're bed sheets, so they're sustainable. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing this week. On a side note, I'm gonna go grab it. So I make these book bags, and I do sell them on Etsy. But just last week, I made a pattern for these, and I put them up on my Etsy as a PDF version, so nothing physical is sold. But you can get a PDF version of the pattern for this on my Etsy. Or if you don't want to do the pattern, you can just get this on my Etsy. Either way. I will be putting up my water bottle holders soon. I have yet to redesign them. I had a bit of a lazy, unproductive week on top of everything I had to do. So I still have to redesign those, and then when I do that, I'm going to make a pattern for those as well. But they will be up on my site again soon, as well as the strawberry water bottle holders. I just want to make them a little bit shorter so that when the yarn stretches, it doesn't stretch too terribly far. I just have to sit down and do it. So I'm hoping to get those out next week to 2 weeks. So hopefully not too much longer for those, and then those will be back on my site. But yeah, I do have the pattern for those just new on my site, and I put a lot of work into it. So again, my Etsy is at Heather Crochet Goods, all one word, capitalize each new word. And you can see my shop that I have there. I also might do some beanies. Let me go grab that. So this is definitely a work in progress. It's a little pumpkin beanie. I am still trying to work out the face and stuff. I want to make it look like a jack-o'-lantern. I don't know. I don't think I'll stick with this design of the face, but you know, I just wanted to get a little idea out there. So I might work on this a bit more and then get it up on my site soon. And I also might do like a lemon or something. I don't know. Feeling the vibes. So look out for that in the next couple of weeks. While I'm advertising myself, this is a skirt that I made last week. If you want to watch that video, I made 2 skirts last week. Some very nice lady stopped me in the store the other day, and she just like aggressively loved the skirt that I had on, and I was like, oh, that's really nice. So yeah, go and check that out. Anyway, aside from all of the other stuff I'm advertising, let's go ahead and get started on this pinafore. So I'm going to start by showing the footage of the skirt first, because this was the only part that actually worked out for the first time. So basically what I did was I just took, again, the length of the sheet. I think it was a king sheet. So I just folded it 4 times, and I measured out the length that I wanted it. Then I cut that, and I cut off the hemmed edges, and then I just cut it in half from there. And that is, the skirt is just 2 panels. And then on one side I did a French seam, so I sewed it wrong sides together and then right sides together to encase the seam. But then on the other side, since I did add a zipper, I sewed it with a very thick seam, and then I rolled those to make it so that I could have the opening up top close as well. What I did for the waistband of the skirt and the dress is that I took the thick hem of the sheet that was there and ended up cutting that off before, but now I'm using it for this, and I just cut it to the length that I needed for my waist, and then I cut off the hemmed edge and then I cut it to where I needed it for the length, and then I just trimmed the bottom. After that, I seam ripped the stitches that they had there so that I could open it and then iron it to what I needed it to be. Now that it's ironed almost like a bias tape, I pretty much just pinned it evenly along the waistband so that I could do the lazy ruffle that I've been doing on my other skirts. And so pretty much I just pin it and then I'll ruffle it and then shove it into the bias as I go, and that gives me a nice and easy ruffle. Now it's time for the fiasco that the top was. I think I did this 3 times till I actually got it right. So for this first one, which doesn't matter because I did it wrong, I just traced over my corset pattern and I gave it like a nice armhole and I gave it the angle that I wanted. But that ended up not working out so well. So after I cut it out of the material, I gave it the dart and everything that it needed, and I sewed the arms together. I sewed the lining and the outer fabric together and all of that. And I tried it on and it did not work. The armholes were gaping. It just was not fitting right. So after that, I decided to retry it for the second time and give it a nice seam for the bust. That didn't work out. So now it is on to the third and final one. So I went back to my corset pattern, and instead of adding an armhole, I just added a little diagonal that would go down to the waist under the arm. And I did that for the front and the back, and I made sure to add the dart for the front. So once I have these triangles measured out, I went ahead and cut it out of the material, and then I made sure to mark on the back of the material just like a little plus or any mark just to let me know that these were the front pieces, because the front and the back pieces look very similar. It's just the front does get a dart, so it's slightly bigger than the back. So I just went ahead and marked it just so I can make sure I know which one is which. Then I pinned all of the lining and the outer pieces together, right sides together, and then I pinned them so I can sew all along the edge except for the bottom, and then just turn it right side out. Once I turned them right side out and they were all ironed, I just went ahead and added the darts to the 2 front pieces. Once I did that, I just sewed the arms together. Now after putting the skirt on and just kind of tucking the 2 pieces into the skirt just to see where I wanted to sew it, I decided to sew the 2 bodice pieces pretty far down. So as you see, there is a lot of excess at the bottom. That's for a reason, because it just fits me better if it's lower or higher up for the skirt. So I just sewed them straight on to the top like that, no turning out or anything, just like that. Once those were all sewn, I tried the dress on and I decided I liked the inner seam to be tucked in just a little bit, so I just folded that in and then I sewed along the outer edge of the entire front. Once I did that, I went ahead and whip stitched it down so I wouldn't be able to see it from the outside, but it was nice and tacked on the inside. I then did the same to the bodice pieces, so I trimmed off the excess and then I just folded it and whip stitched it to the waistband. Once I was done, I hemmed it and the dress was done. So here it is. That was quite the process. I don't know, I used the same corset pattern that I use for everything, and for some reason it's just like the armholes weren't working. It was just like gaping in weird places and I couldn't fix it easily, so I had to do the top like 3 times. So yeah, I finally settled on just doing the separate triangles, and that just made it easier so I could pull it down to whatever angle I needed so I could make the armholes fit better or whatever. So I think it was fine. I mean, I like the material a lot. Not like the greatest thing I've ever made, but you know what? It does the fall aesthetic kind of vibe, so I think it works. It fits pretty good. Yeah, I think I would have liked it pleated better, but I was far too lazy to figure that out, so I just did the lazy ruffle kind of thing. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's kind of cute. Kind of a vibe. Anywho, again, I have my PDF pattern for my crochet book bag up on Etsy. Keep an eye out for the water bottle holders and maybe the beanies coming up anytime soon, and then a pattern for the water bottle holders soon too. I have no idea what I'm doing next week. I'm kind of just waiting for all of these projects to simmer down for crochet just a little bit so I can do like a big week project thing, because it's kind of just been like I spend like a day or two sewing, maybe even on the weekend, so I can spend literally the rest of the week crocheting. So as soon as that calms down a little bit, maybe I will tackle a larger project. But for now, we're just gonna get some cute fall aesthetic vibes. Anyways, if you like what I did, go ahead and like and subscribe. I post most Fridays, mostly at noon, hopefully. Thank you for watching.